My kitchen used to collect a lot of crap. And if you're anything like me, that can be just stressful, annoying, and demoralizing. So here are some tips to help build and keep a clutter-free kitchen. Don't put it down, put it away. Your kitchen countertops and tables can be the dumping ground of your house. You come home after a long day, you're exhausted, you just throw all your stuff on the table, you've gotta start cooking, you've gotta chill and watch Netflix, whatever you gotta do. We have this tendency to just let everything from mail to our keys to random junk pile up on the counters. But instead of doing that, it is super important to have a rule that you're not gonna put it down, you're going to put it away. So have a place where everything belongs so that when you walk in the door, your coat goes on the coat rack, your keys go on the hook, your wallet goes in the basket, your backpack gets hung up, a water bottle gets put in the dishwasher. Everything should have a home so that it doesn't build up. The last 5 minutes of your day. A lot of times the last 5 minutes you spend in your kitchen will determine how your kitchen will look the next day. For me, I have found it very important to never leave things in the sink at night, because if I do that, when I wake up in the morning, I'm trying to do my morning routine, I have to look at the dishes, or I have to deal with the dishes. It's not how I want to start my day. And if I don't get to it right away, it builds up because we got other stuff going on the rest of the day. So create a rule or ritual at night, because things will get messed up a little bit, that you can reset your kitchen in just a few minutes, wipe down the countertops, put away the stuff in the sink, fill up the dishwasher, empty the dishwasher, throw out the trash, wash the pans, whatever it is. Take a few minutes before you end your day to set yourself up for success in the next day. Honestly, this has been one of the best habits for me for keeping a clutter-free kitchen. Cannot recommend it enough. Don't use your refrigerator as an art gallery. This seems kind of simple, but the difference between having a refrigerator with a bunch of random crap all over it and having one that's actually clean can make your whole kitchen feel different. And honestly, how many times have you actually ordered pizza off of that sticky magnet or whatever random junk you have on there? It builds up, it's stressful, it's completely unnecessary. Get it off your fridge. Open can be better. Well, this isn't gonna work for every house. Having open shelving can actually force you to be more clean. It can be really easy to hide a lot of things in cabinets or drawers, but when things are exposed to the rest of your kitchen, it forces you to keep things neat and organized because you can see them every day. It's a lot harder to be messy when stuff is just staring you in the face. Get a basket for under your sink. Under the sink can be a place where we just chuck a bunch of random stuff that we want to hide. So if under your sink looks like this, then it might be time to use a basket and actually organize the stuff that's under there. If you have tools and random stuff that doesn't belong there, put it somewhere else. For us, having a basket under there has really helped us keep things organized so that when we're putting things away, they actually have a place where they belong. Make sure your Tupperwares and containers have a buddy. In our house, Tupperware is kind of like socks. Somehow the dishwasher eats like half the lids. I don't know what happens to them. So in order to keep this intact and also keep them more organized, we have started to only wash and put away Tupperwares that have their buddy, that have their lid. It makes storing and actually knowing what you have a lot easier. You might realize that half the Tupperware you have, you can't even use because it doesn't have a lid. So go through and find out which stuff you can actually use that you've been hanging on to forever and just waiting for the mate to show up, and what stuff is garbage. Then make sure when you're putting stuff away, you only store it with the lid so that you can actually use all the stuff that you have. And speaking of using stuff, you can use your finger to subscribe to this channel, and it is completely free. So just let that sink in for a minute and I'll go on to the next point. It is okay to have a junk drawer. Some people don't actually need a junk drawer, but this is something that we have always found useful because there are little things like pens and scissors and lotions and flashlights, just random stuff that most people need, but it just ends up getting thrown in a giant pile. So if you have a junk drawer or any drawer in your kitchen, try getting some organizers for it. This can help everything actually have a home where it belongs and really keep things from getting out of hand. You can also go through, and even if this takes an hour or two, and consolidate down to a smaller junk drawer that is well organized and routinely go through it so it doesn't get too far out of hand. Make sure everything has a home. Much like with the rest of your house, it is super important to make sure that everything has a home in your kitchen. This prevents you from just whipping it into a cabinet or leaving it strewn all over the place. Because it actually has a home, you're much more likely to put it back there. So take some time and actually think through what is the best layout for my kitchen and what can the home for each one of these be that makes sense so that when I'm cooking, when I'm doing things, it's easy to get to and easy to put away. Respect the counters. Your kitchen counters can make or break your kitchen. If you walk into a kitchen and there's not a bunch of crap on your counters, it'll make your whole kitchen feel bright and open and clean and clutter-free, which is kind of the goal here. And while some people will recommend keeping absolutely nothing on your kitchen countertops, sometimes we do need to keep stuff on there. Like we have this water filter that won't really fit anywhere else. But I would recommend that you only keep stuff on your countertops that you use every single day. And if you don't use it every day, use it every other day, once a week, whatever it is, then just keep it underneath in your cabinets or somewhere else where it's not visible. This seems like a headache when you first get started, but it generally takes about 3 to 10 seconds to take stuff out and put it away. And for the peace of mind and reduced stress that you will feel in your kitchen, it is totally worth doing that, and it kind of forces you to clean up after yourself and not let things get out of hand. So respect those countertops. Just because you have extra space doesn't mean you need to fill it. So I've lived in 3 different places in the last 3 years, and they all had very different sized kitchens. But it seems like no matter how much space we have, we tend to fill that space, and that is completely not necessary. We generally only deal with the problem when it starts to overflow, so we'll let things accumulate under our cabinets, in our closets, but you don't wanna wait until it starts to stress you out and ruin your life before you deal with the problem. So realizing that it's okay to have an empty drawer, an empty cabinet, an empty shelf, and you don't have to fill it, can make your home feel a lot more clean and a lot more open. If you actually go through your kitchen cabinets like we did recently, you might realize how much of the stuff is outdated, duplicates, just completely unnecessary, but since you have room for it, you just leave it there. I wonder what would happen if I ate this.
Don't have random mismatched stuff. So after about 3 years of having random silverware that we got at a thrift store that was bending and missing half the pieces, we actually went out and made some one-time purchases that make our kitchen feel a lot more put together. We got silverware that all matched each other. We got cups that all match each other instead of having a few that we actually use and the rest that we just shove in the back because we don't even like them. It's really the whole idea of less but better and having quality things that all go together. Caraway recently gave us a set of pots and pans, and honestly we should have switched to these like years ago. It makes a huge difference when all of your pots and pans go together. They come with storage so they're not all stacked on top of each other. Compared to our old pans, which were not necessarily all that non-stick, compared to these, which are non-stick with a non-toxic coating, cleaning after cooking takes a fraction of the time. Plus, I don't even need to use cooking spray or oil when I do my eggs. Having a few high quality things can make your whole kitchen feel a lot more simple. Thanks again for Caraway for sending me these. If you guys want to check them out, I'll leave a link down in the description.
Let me know down in the comments what other rooms you would like tips on to keep clutter free, and I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe because we're on our way to 500,000. 500,000!